Well, I've lost count on what video number this is, but this is about praying for our leaders, and it's directed especially towards Christian men who have stopped their sin and are doing what's right. Because otherwise your prayers are not powerful and effective. You need to take care of that first. And then you can lift up holy hands, terrifyingly clean hands, in prayer to God and be effective. This time we're in Daniel 2. So Daniel 2. And this is where King Nebuchadnezzar had a dream and no one could interpret it. And Daniel was given an interpretation by God. Daniel went into his house and made, this is verse 17, and made the decision known to Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, his companions, that they might seek mercies from the God of heaven concerning this secret, so that Daniel and his companions might not perish with the rest of the wise men of Babylon. Then the secret was revealed to Daniel in a night vision. So he asked his friends to pray for him too, that he would have the wisdom to interpret the dream of King Nebuchadnezzar. Then the secret was revealed to Daniel in a night vision. So Daniel blessed the God of heaven. That's his reaction. That's his reaction. When God gives you something, he reveals something to you in your heart. He opens your mind to something that you had not seen before, either directly or through someone else, like a teacher. Do you bless the God of heaven? Do you? Do you speak wonderful and beautiful words of him? Daniel answered and said, "Blessed be the name of God forever and ever, for wisdom and might are his." Wisdom and might are his, because he saw the dream, which was all about kingdoms overthrowing each other and being established. That's why he said might. Wisdom, because God revealed it to Daniel. This secret that was in Nebuchadnezzar's heart in the dream. And he revealed it to Daniel, so he said, "For wisdom and might are his." And he changes the times and the seasons. He removes kings and raises up kings. He gives wisdom to the wise and knowledge to those who have understanding. Now, some have pointed to this and to say that God changes like the months and when winter is and things like that. That's not what it's about. It's absolutely out of context. The context is about kingdoms rising up against other kingdoms, those times and seasons. A season as being a period of time. Not necessarily a season like winter, spring, summer, and fall. That word doesn't only apply to that even in English. Oh, how long is he here in town? Just for a season. Doesn't mean just for winter. It means just for some time, right? Not just a few days, but for a period of time. It's not going to be forever. It's not going to be a year. It's just going to be maybe a few months, a few weeks. Not sure, but it'll be longer than a few days. It's just for a season. So it's not literally a season like summer or winter. And he changes the times and the seasons, meaning the times of this king ruling and the season of this empire being in power, because that's the context. That's what the dream is about, as we'll find out very soon. And he changes the times and the seasons. He removes kings and raises up kings. He gives wisdom to the wise and knowledge to those who have understanding. He's talking about himself. He's praising God. He's praising God for giving wisdom, though he was already wise, and knowledge, though he already had understanding. Because remember that God said that the fear of God is the beginning of wisdom, and to depart from evil is understanding. Well, Daniel had that. Daniel feared God, and Daniel had departed from evil. So he had wisdom and understanding, and yet God still gave him more wisdom, though he was wise, and gave him more knowledge, though he had understanding. That's what he's saying. He reveals deep and secret things. He knows what is in the darkness, and light dwells with him. He reveals deep and secret things. He knows what is in the darkness, and light dwells with him. I want you to take that verse from here, from this passage, and I want you to read that every day and spend 5 or 10 minutes in prayer asking God to crack that open inside your heart, to do what He will through that verse inside of your soul. Verse 22, Daniel 2:22, very easy to remember, 2:22. He reveals deep and secret things. He knows what is in the darkness, and light dwells with him. Verse 23, I thank you and praise you, O God of my fathers. You have given me wisdom and might, and have now made known to me what we asked of you. He wasn't alone. What we asked of you, for you have made known to us the king's demand. Okay? So he goes down and he interprets this dream to Nebuchadnezzar. I don't want to go through that, because then it'll get into the interpretation of the dream and what it means and all this kind of stuff. I don't want to focus on that right now. So, Daniel ends with these words, the dream is certain and its interpretation is sure. He had no doubt, because he knew who gave him that. Then King Nebuchadnezzar fell on his face, prostrate before Daniel. Wow! This is the most powerful king of the world at that time. He fell down on his face, prostrate before Daniel, this Jewish boy who was a slave, his slave. They had taken them captive. Daniel was a Jewish slave of Nebuchadnezzar. And Nebuchadnezzar fell on his face before this little Jewish boy slave, prostrate before him. Wow. Most powerful man in the world was humbled before Daniel and commanded that they should present an offering and incense to him. The king answered Daniel and said, truly, your God is the God of gods, the Lord of kings, and a revealer of secrets, since you could reveal this secret. Then the king promoted Daniel and gave him many great gifts, and made him ruler over the whole province of Babylon, and chief administrator over all the wise men of Babylon. Also Daniel petitioned the king, and he set Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego over the affairs of that province of Babylon, but Daniel sat in the gate of the king. God appoints the authorities. God is the one who appoints them. And he did that in this case with Daniel as well. Nebuchadnezzar had been. And And now Nebuchadnezzar yielded to Daniel because of God's wisdom and might that rested on Daniel and proved itself through revealing the secrets in the heart of the king. This is what God can do when men pray for those in authority. Daniel asked his friends to pray for him that he could reveal the secrets of this dream to the king who was in authority. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? I tell this story about this Muslim man who was on a pilgrimage to Mecca, and he was sleeping out under the stars with all the other Muslims as they were out around the track that's around the stone. And he was sleeping under the stars, and he was poor. He had nothing. He was just sleeping there on the ground. And Jesus came to him in a dream and revealed that he was the Son of God, not just a teacher or a great prophet, that he was the Son of God. This man didn't know what to think of this dream. He told his friends, and they didn't know what to think of it either, and they just kind of ignored him. He became a Christian. Jesus came to him at Mecca, next to the stone, lying out with the pilgrims to worship this satanic god. And he came to this man in a dream and revealed himself to him. And here we're reading about how God gave this young Jewish boy the secrets of the heart of the king, most powerful king in the world at that time. He entrusted the secrets of the heart of the king about that dream to this young Jewish boy and raised him up into a place of authority over Babylon. Pray for our leaders. Pray that Jesus would reveal himself to them, that they would be cut to their heart and fall prostrate before the God of gods, before the Lord of the kings. May the Lord bless you as you seek him with all your heart.